welcome to DCW Synergy. I am the must-see MC David Storm, holding down the commentary desk, joined tonight by my partner Matt Gill. Matt, we are freshly removed from one of the biggest pay-per-views in DCW history, Ante Up II.
That's right, David. You know, it was a fantastic night, and I'm really excited to see what happens when everyone comes here to talk about the fallout from that show.
New titles, championships changed hands, familiar faces you will no longer see here in Diamond Championship Wrestling. So many questions that need to be answered, especially in our tag team division.
That's right, David.
Which brings us to, at this time, we would like to introduce the new tag team champion, singular, Crusher Catrell.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new DCW Tag Team Champion, Crusher Catrell.
So Matt, as we mentioned, a lot of questions needing answering. The main event of Antie Up II, Jack Passion, Andy V10 Hansen, loser leaves town match. Earlier in the night, Crusher Catrell and Jack Passion go on to win the tag team championships, only for Jack Passion to lose at the end of the night and Crusher Catrell to give him a very unsavory send-off.
That's right. You know, Jack didn't just leave DCW. He left Crusher Catrell as the singular tag team champion. What are we going to do, David?
That is a fantastic question, and it looks like Crusher Catrell is ready to answer those questions. He does have both titles in his possession, which leads you to wonder, has he selected a new tag team partner? Will he let us know who? Or certainly I would think he's got to address that here this evening.
Well, you know, Crusher Catrell is one of those guys, he really likes to do things his own way. He doesn't really follow anyone else's lead, so I'm interested to see what he has to say for us here tonight.
I agree. Can't wait to hear what is on the mind of the new DCW Tag Team Champion, Crusher Catrell.
You people shut your mouths when greatness is standing in front of you. You know what? You know what? I look out into this crowd and all I see is a whole bunch of lunch meat. Because you people look like you'd be inbred. In case you missed it, at Antie Up II, I became the tag team champions. For the first time in the history of Diamond Championship Wrestling, there's somebody good enough to have both tag team championships. I don't need a partner. I will never need a partner. There ain't two men walking this God-given earth that could pin my shoulders to the mat. You see, I was supposed to have a partner. Jack Passion. 2 years ago, I walked through those doors for the very first time, and I took this company by storm. I won the scholarship. I've never paid a day in my life. I've only been paid. Jack Passion saw right through all the lies. He saw me for what I truly am. A superstar, better than him, better than he could ever be, more man than he could ever be. From day one, Jack Passion wanted to come at me. It all started at All Sales Final 1. Jack Passion became the double champion. He won our heavyweight championship. He won the Diamond Destiny championship. And then what happened? Crusher Catrell walked down that ramp, climbed through these ropes, and ripped his head off in the middle of this ring. You know what happened next? At Mardi Gras Madness, I beat him in 12 seconds. I beat the so-called biggest star in Diamond Championship Wrestling in 12 seconds and became the heavyweight champion. Me and Jack went back and forth for a year. I beat him multiple times. And then at All Sales Final 2, 1 year to the day after our first meeting, we had a steel cage match. And then afterwards, after he became the heavyweight champion, Andy V10 Hansen walked right in front of that announce table and wanted to get into main event business when he will never be a main event star. Andy Hansen, you will never be the top guy. You'll never be the star that these people pay to see. You people shut your mouths. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by a room full of people with a collective IQ of 12. After All Sales Final 2, Jack Passion finally came to his senses. We beat the living hell out of Andy V10 Hansen and went on a tear. We became the tag team champions at Ante Up II. But Jack Passion, his ego got in the way. His ego blinded him, and he thought he was better than he actually was. He thought he was as good as Crusher Catrell. He got himself into a loser leaves town match with Andy V10. And what do you know? He lost, just like he always does. So now I can finally prove that I'm the best in this entire company. I don't need a tag partner. I beat the living hell out of Jack Passion to ensure that he never shows his stupid face in this building ever again. I ripped his head off multiple times. I left him a bloody mess in the middle of this ring.
Could it be?
Jack Passion, I mean,
Jack
he's not supposed to be here.
He's not supposed to be here. All right. The crowd here at the Bullet, they are going wild for Jack Passion. We haven't seen Jack Passion come through the curtain yet. It would be a shock to me. I haven't seen him here all day.
No, I was here all day. I didn't see him at all.
Stupid people!
What is this?
Did we
Turn that
fall for the
garbage
oldest
off!
trick in
You
the book?
stupid people thought that Jack Passion was actually gonna come back into this building?
This guy is the worst.
You people are dumber than I thought. I didn't even know that was possible. I beat Jack Passion's face in so bad he'll never show his face in another wrestling ring ever again. He'll never walk again. Now that I've caught all you idiots up to speed, it's time to talk business. You see the suit and ties in the back, specifically Scott Armstrong, have had a problem with me from day one. They know that I'm a liability to this locker room because anybody that steps through those ropes and gets into this ring with me will not leave under their own power. They've determined that I must have a tag team partner. You know, I don't know how else to get this point across. I don't need anyone but myself. There's not two men on this God-given earth that can pin my shoulders to this mat. But you know what? I'll find someone. I'll find someone to carry all the way to the top, because you'll just stand out here on the apron. You won't do anything. You won't have to. I'm gonna beat the living hell out of any and every tag team that comes out here to challenge me for these championships with my own two hands, because there's only one thing certain in this life, and that's that Crusher Catrell will leave you staring at the lights.
Some powerful words from Crusher Catrell.
Yeah, there you have it. You know, Crusher says he doesn't need any help, but as you heard, DCW management has said he has to find himself a tag team partner. What are we going to do here, David?
That is a fantastic question, Matt. I wish I knew. I mean, clearly, if you were going to leave it into the hands of Crusher Catrell, he would almost much rather just go it alone.
Well, you know, that's right, David, but I mean, being the DCW Tag Team Champion, he cannot carry those titles by himself. He has to find himself a tag team partner.
Well, I suppose if he doesn't pick one may. Why is he coming this way?
What's going on here?
Why is?
Whoa! Hey! Okay! Hey!
Okay, Matt. Champ. Being joined at this time by the DCW Tag Team Champions, Crusher Catrell. To what do I owe the pleasure, champ?
I'll tell you the pleasure that you owe. You had the pleasure of sitting here with the greatest superstar to ever step foot into Diamond Championship Wrestling.
No argument there. You're going to hang out for a little while?
Well, I'm going to be here.
I believe the people
The
here
suit
are
and ties
ready.
in the back have determined that I need a tag team partner.
Well, let's take it to the ring for our opening contest.
Ladies and gentlemen, your opening contest scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Citronelle, Alabama, weighing 170 pounds, the Kid.
So, while you're out here, are you just scouting the talent? Are you looking for a new partner? Or
Quite the opposite. I'm scouting the lack of talent. You see this kid in the ring? This is the same kid that I got carried out of here on a stretcher.
Okay, so clearly he is not one that you would pick for a tag team partner.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. It doesn't matter who my tag team partner is because I don't need a tag team partner.
All right, well, you might find this interesting. His opponent was one of your running mates for a good long while.
And his opponent, making his way to the ring, representing the Pillars of Pain, the Liability, Leo Valentino.
So, Crusher, I've got to ask, at the beginning of your tag team championship run as the alliance with Jack Passion, there was a bit of a falling out with the Pillars of Pain. You ran with the Pillars for quite some time.
I didn't run with anybody. They ran with me. They were just the tails behind the wagon. They had nothing to do with my success. They were just along for the ride.
Do you think that maybe the liability Leo Valentino is one that could go along for the ride again?
I don't mean to insult your intelligence, but Leo Valentino is not with me anymore for a reason. The Pillars of Pain have nothing to do with my success.
All right. Well, we're going to keep our eyes on the ring as we've got action. Of course, these two gentlemen back during Ante Up II faced off in that six-man gauntlet match. And they were actually both competitors. We didn't actually get a chance to see them go one-on-one. Ace Lee, the new champion, he was actually able to run the gauntlet.
You mean the security guard? The security guard ran the gauntlet? You think I want a security guard as my tag team partner?
I wasn't suggesting that Ace Lee would make a good tag team partner. However, he is a current champion. Ace Lee is the current junior heavyweight champion. Certainly, the fact that he brings gold into a partnership with you would have to mean something.
I have 2 championships. I'm already better than him. I'm the tag team champions. You're the plural on that. I have both championship belts.
Got you covered. The kid in control, Leo Valentino, trying to get himself free. The kid working the arm. Into a front headlock. Kid firmly in control of the liability. And no sooner do I say it, nope. Kid manages to maintain control. So, of course, Crusher, you've got to be watching this action thinking none of these guys would be any issue for you whatsoever.
Not a chance. I told you, I left the kid on a stretcher. They had to come into the ring and scrape him off the mat with a spatula.
Leo Valentino with the kid in the corner, knee to the midsection. Quick leapfrog into an arm drag.
Look at this.
And Leo Valentino finds himself down yet again.
He's getting manhandled by a child, a toothpick child.
You may call the kid a toothpick child, but he has had tremendous success here in Diamond Championship Wrestling as of late. He is a former heavyweight champion. Not many folks remember that.
Nobody remembers anything the kid does. He's a kid. He's literally a child.
So, I apologize. Please don't take this the wrong way, but at the young age of 19, many people might say the same about you.
Do I look 19 to you?
I don't think you do.
Thank you very much. I'm a specimen. They call me the anomaly for a reason.
Leo Valentino, as we turn our attention back to the ring, taking control of the kid. Leo Valentino, the liability, looks to be firmly in control. With a shot to the back.
That was weak.
And another knee to the midsection. Referee Daniel Fairley doing his best to try to get the action out of the corner. But the kid is just weathering blow after blow, strike after strike from Leo Valentino. You've got to be impressed with what Leo Valentino is doing right now. I know you said you don't need him, you don't want him, you left him in the back for a reason, but you cannot deny the success that he is having with a former heavyweight champion right now.
There's nothing heavy about him. The kid weighs 27 pounds soaking wet. He is not a true heavyweight champion. think I would be impressed by Leo Valentino beating up a child. Somebody call his kid's parents.
Leo Valentino. Oh, it's a small package. Leo Valentino kicking out at 1. So, an interesting question. I know, again, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse with this. I know you don't want it, you don't need it. But because of the familiarity that you have had with Leo Valentino, certainly there's got to be some benefit to that. Certainly you'd be able to take that. I know you're gonna reign forever. It's silly for me to even assume. But if you have to have a partner, at least someone that you've got some familiarity with.
Familiarity is irrelevant. I don't need advantages. I have every advantage you could even dream of. Talk about advantages. What's my partner going to do? They're going to stand on the apron, and they're not going to step in the ring one time. I'm going to do all the dirty work. I don't need anybody else.
That's a fair point, I suppose. And the fisherman suplex by Leo Valentino goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by the Kid. As this match continues, stretching the arms, knee to the back of the Kid. The crowd firmly behind the Kid, who is working, muscling himself up. These two have a storied rivalry, even in singles competition. Very evenly matched.
That should tell you everything that you need to know about me looking at either of these two competitors, if you can even call them competitors, as a potential tag team partner. If you're in a rivalry with the Kid, you don't belong in the ring with Crusher Catrell.
Kid makes it to the rope. That will break the hold. Referee Daniel Fairley almost making it all the way to 5. Leo Valentino using every last little bit of that 5 count to gain an advantage here. If nothing else, you could say Leo Valentino, he is cagey, he is smart.
He is smart. He followed my lead for months upon months. He got behind the biggest, fastest rising star in the history of DCW.
The Kid reversing into a pin. 1, 2, and a kick out by Leo Valentino.
You see, whenever I got my hands on Leo Valentino and Mason Mosley, they didn't know their right from their left. They didn't even know how to get into the ring. I showed them the ropes. I made them what they are.
And this could be it for the Kid. 1, 2. No, and the Kid kicks out. The Kid's still alive. A spinning neck breaker. The Kid, you've got to give him some credit. His resilience. Kicking out of that move, even you would have to admit, that is a rather devastating move.
I would have kicked out at 1.
There's just no pleasing you, is there?
There's no need to please me when I already know that I'm the best in the world. I'm the best professional wrestler in the world.
The Kid mounting a comeback. Looking pretty strong here, sends Leo Valentino to the outside. Referee Daniel Fairley trying to bring everything back into the center of the ring. The Kid looks like he's going to fly. And it's a suicide dive to the outside. Referee Daniel Fairley starts the count. These two competitors, I don't think it matters. The Kid feeling some sort of way right now. Leo Valentino just trying to get away to catch his breath. What is this? What is this? It's 1 in a million. 1 in a million, Mason Mosley. Ow! And the referee has called for a disqualification.
You know where they learn these tactics from? They learned.
Wait. Let me
from the
guess.
best.
Of course they did. Walter Alexander, the Blood Diamond of professional wrestling, running to the ring to make the save for the kid.
Who even is this guy? He looks like he'd run security at a Target. Who even is him?
That is Walter Alexander, the Blood Diamond of professional wrestling, clearing the ring for the kid, which is not something that we're used to seeing Walter Alexander do.
I don't know. I think I saw him at the grocery store the other day while I was buying my protein.
Whether you saw him at the grocery store or the Target, right now you're seeing him and the kid standing tall together, shaking hands in the middle of the ring.
Your winner by disqualification, the Kid.
Pack our things. So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
Rated PG in theaters now. Elf presenta Melissa.
Doctor, what day is it?
Melissa, the big show is tonight. It's in Spanish. How is your Espanol?
Adios, soy un baño. Soy un baño.
We have a lot of work to do. You need juicy lips
Chancla.
so you can utter those R's.
Sombrero.
Beso. Te amo. You're ready.
Adios, frios.
With over 500 million items on the Walmart app, you might be surprised by what you can do. I call this little routine fire and ice. Guitars by Fender? Bob knew. Get these guys a contract. Jeff knew. Now this girl dad's flying incredibly close to the sun.
This has great texture.
Go off, Dad.
Adorable. He knew.
New patio.
She knew.
Cool outfit.
And knowing is a beautiful thing. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
I can't believe Listerine has 6 benefits in every swish. I wonder if they're friends.
What?
Like, does 24-hour cavity protection hang out with repairs enamel, or you think it's more of a work thing?
For a healthier mouth, wash your mouth with Listerine.
Crusher Catrell joining me at the commentary desk, trying to find you a tag team partner. I feel like it's an exercise in futility. You had a fantastic night at Antie Up II. We've got some action coming up, and one of our competitors was there at Antie Up II, succeeded in a boxing exhibition against live wire Bobby Ford. I'm talking about one Uncle Earl. What about Uncle Earl as a potential tag team partner?
That's the most inbred human being you've ever seen in my life.
All right, well, we were able to catch up with Uncle Earl at the Diamond Mine Wrestling Academy earlier this week. Let's take a look at what we found.
Hey, girl.
Well, howdy. How you been?
I've been great, man. How you been?
I've been doing good. It's a long time no see.
Long time no see, man.
Yes, sir. Let me introduce you to my nephew right here. It's Big Noah, my sister's boy.
Hey, Big Noah. Nice to meet you, too. Hey, that's your sister? Be right back, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my sister's boy. You gonna hold that thing?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't know? It's moonshine time.
Oh, I ain't getting a beginner's chip again.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Hollywood, Florida, Zamir Dixon.
All right, so I'm not even going to entertain the notion of Zamir Dixon as your tag team partner. If you didn't want Uncle Earl and you saw the way Uncle Earl manhandled Zamir Dixon.
The last time this kid was here, I ripped his head off. Once again, they put me in the ring with a kid, and then they had to come in there with a spatula and scrape him off the mat. I haven't seen this kid in 6 months, and now he just thinks he can show back up. I didn't think this kid would ever walk again.
Zamir Dixon is making his return to Diamond Championship Wrestling after some time off. Has the dubious responsibility of challenging Uncle Earl.
And his opponent, accompanied by Earl's nephew, Big Noah, from Grand Bay, Alabama, Uncle Earl.
All right, hear me out. Maybe no for Uncle Earl. Absolutely not for Zamir Dixon. What about Big Noah, though? He's country strong, and you could probably train him relatively easy.
Big Noah.
Big Noah.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's Uncle Earl's sister's boy.
He's got the IQ of a potato, and you want to put him in the ring with me? You want Big Noah, Big Dumb Noah, to be my tag team partner? You've lost it. You've lost it. I mean, you never had it, but you've definitely lost it now.
Well, at the very least, you've got somebody to do the heavy lifting.
Heavy lifting. You think heavy lifting is a problem for Crusher Catrell?
I don't know what I was thinking.
You never do. You never know what you're thinking.
Daniel Fairley, the man in the stripes, still in the ring as we're about to get this action underway. Uncle Earl taking off that lucky horseshoe that helped him in achieving that victory against live wire Bobby Ford at the Ante Up II pay-per-view just a few short weeks back. Zamir Dixon, he couldn't handle Uncle Earl's heavy bag. I think it's going to be a tough night here for Zamir Dixon.
This kid's dancing in the ring. Dancing in the ring. They want me to find a tag team partner, and then they bring this kid out here that's just going to dance in the ring. This is a fight. This is a wrestling match, and you have the audacity to dance? Get this kid out of my face.
So it should be noted that Zamir Dixon and Uncle Earl, they have locked up once before, and Earl very easily overpowered the much smaller but very much quicker Zamir Dixon. Do you think maybe he's feeling a little bit more confident dancing in the ring because he thinks maybe he knows he can't beat Earl in the power game, but he's going to try to beat him with his quickness this time?
God, I hope he's not feeling confident. He has no reason to feel confident. Look at him. Look at him. He's the size of a toothpick.
He was controlling that headlock for just a little bit until Earl just chucked him into the corner. Zamir with a drop kick, keeping Earl in the corner. That quickness paying dividends. A glitch in the Matrix, Neo style. Uncle Earl looking for the clothesline and nobody home. You'd have to imagine that Uncle Earl watching Zamir Dixon float around. It's like trying to brush a fly off a chicken leg. Just aggravating not being able to get hands on the much smaller, much quicker Zamir Dixon, who drops Uncle Earl, sends him to the outside.
Well, I mean, look at Earl. He's definitely not used to doing his cardio. Only cardio he gets is grabbing the chicken wings off the plate to shove them down his gullet.
12-ounce curls are still curls, Crusher. Big Noah with a catch of Zamir Dixon. He caught him easier than kindergarten kids catch colds. Good Lord. Earl had to tell his sister's boy to put him down. Speaking of put down, Zamir Dixon with a cover on Earl. Earl kicks out at 2. You would have to think, should Zamir Dixon walk away with a 3 count in this one, that would be probably the upset of the century.
The upset of the century for beating an inbred idiot. You gotta be kidding me. Your standards are just getting lower and lower, aren't they?
Oh, come on. But when you look at a guy the size of Uncle Earl and a guy the size of Zamir Dixon, a blind man could see that the advantage strongly would favor Uncle Earl.
I don't know. All I see is a toothpick and a busted can of biscuits in the ring right now, and that's it.
A huge body slam. Zamir Dixon bounced 2 inches after hitting the mat off of that body slam. The power of Uncle Earl on display, throwing Zamir Dixon in the corner. There it is, right there. That is the swamp drop, which is a precursor to the moonshine splash. 1, 2, 3, and we are done. Ring the bell.
Here is your winner, Uncle Earl.
And look who's dancing in the ring now. Uncle Earl and Earl's sister's boy, Big Noah. All right, guys, we still have more Diamond Championship Wrestling to come, and we're going to see if we can't find a worthy partner for Crusher Catrell, an exercise in futility. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back with more DCW right after this.
It's a phenomenon now and forever. The electrifying reimagining of Andrew Lloyd Webber's masterpiece arrives on Broadway. It's the most fun to be had in the theater. Come one, come all to Cats, the Jellicle Ball on Broadway.
My little soda pop.
Thank you for choosing the Saja Boys breakfast meal. Hash browns, spicy Saja McMuffin.
My little soda pop.
And photo cards. The Saja Boys love you. Big hour meal.
Weezer, The Gathering. Playing live across North America in 2026. With special guests, The Shins, and Silver Sun Pickups. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com.
We were torn apart at birth.
That's dramatic.
This is the story of the best part of the sandwich and his crust.
How's it feel to be so irresistible?
Irresistible? Is that what people are saying?
That's it. Ugh, irresistible.
Uncrustables are the best part of the sandwich.
We are back with more Diamond Championship Wrestling. The must-see MC David Storm, joined by DCW Tag Team Champions Crusher Catrell. And we're trying to find you a tag team partner. That is my mission tonight, to find you a tag team partner. I've got one, and I almost shudder to introduce it. But he did beat your former tag team partner in recent weeks. We recently caught up with DCW superfan turned main man turned superfan once again, Aaron Stone, meeting one of his idols. Take a look at this.
Right. Hey.
DCW, Road Dogg Jesse James.
Oh, you didn't know? I'm doing well. It's good to see you. What's your name?
I'm the main man, Aaron Stone.
Aaron Stone. Go ahead with it, Aaron.
What I do here, sir, is that every time I'm in that ring, in the crowd, set the tone, welcome out opponents to the war zone. And I plan on doing that this Friday night at the Boulevard Armstrong Memorial Arena. And if you don't know already, trust me when I say this, you're gonna find out soon.
Holy mackerel. I thought you were gonna say suck it. I'm so glad you didn't.
The following contest scheduled for one fall is for the DCW Junior Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger, residing in Calabasas, California. He is the Playboy Brian Bodilair. And his opponent from Magic City, Alabama. He is the reigning, defending DCW Junior Heavyweight Champion, the Wild Card, Ace Lee.
My apologies. Had to leave you behind for just a second. We are now looking at a match for the newly acquired for Ace Lee Junior Heavyweight Championship against one of the men that he did see in that six-man gauntlet at Ante Up II in the Playboy, Brian Bodilair. Who's not only just a recent opponent, Brian Bodilair has a championship pedigree all of his own. He is the longest reigning DCW Junior Heavyweight Champion in history.
I'll tell you what, Brian Bodilair is definitely on my good side. Now, even though he's built like a toothpick, I don't think he's ever stepped foot into a gym in his entire life, but he ended Scott Armstrong's career.
That is, in fact, true. He did have a match ending the career of executive producer Scott Armstrong back at Pay the Piper 2, which was actually the debut of the wildcard Ace Lee.
The security guard, yes.
Security guard turned DCW Junior Heavyweight Champion.
But started as a security guard. Has no business tagging with the anomaly Crusher Catrell.
Fair point. The security guard, or rather, the DCW Junior Heavyweight Champ, having his hands full with Brian Bodilair right now. They have called you the anomaly. You do have a fantastic physique, a champion's physique. I will give you that. If you were to get Brian Bodilair on your training regimen, could he be a tag team partner for Crusher Catrell?
Anybody put on my training regimen, first off, they couldn't make it. Nobody can train like Crusher Catrell does. But if they were to train like Crusher Catrell, they would become a superstar. Now, when I say that nobody can train like Crusher Catrell, I especially mean Andy V10 Hansen. Andy V10 Hansen doesn't have the guts, the skills, the brain power to be like Crusher Catrell. He could never be the tag team champions.
Andy V10 Hansen, to his credit, also does have a fantastic physique, and along with Thaddeus Takeover Collins, they have spent much time as reigning DCW Tag Team Champions. Now, granted, that's Andy with a partner. That's not Andy by himself. You are the reigning DCW Tag Team Champions. Ace Lee, sunset flip comes out of it. A drop kick right to the face of Brian Bodilair. We've got a quick cover. The Playboy kicks out at 1. But back to that point, Andy V10 Hansen, who you did have quite the face-to-face with ring to ramp at the end of Ante Up II. I'm not going to say that you need help to get past Andy V10 Hansen, but I will say it wouldn't hurt.
I definitely don't need help to get past Andy V10 Hansen. I've already beat him twice. Not once, I've beaten him twice. I've pinned his shoulders to the mat multiple times, and there is nothing stopping me from doing it again.
Ace Lee off of the rope with a spinning European uppercut and a Hip up. The moves are so intense coming out of the wild card. The junior heavyweight champion. It's almost got me at a loss for words, and a moonsault off the top rope.
I could do that in my sleep. That's no problem.
You could do that in your sleep.
In my sleep.
I bet you don't even know what that's called.
Blindfolded, in my sleep, hands tied behind my back. I can do that no problem.
So what did they call that moonsault?
Shut up.
Doesn't matter what they call it. He just knows he can do it. Crusher Catrell. Back to the ring. The wild card. In firm control of Brian Bodilair, the Playboy, with a foot on the rope to break the hold.
You know what that move's called?
What is that move called?
I invented that move.
You invented.
That's called the Catrell salt.
The Catrell salt. Forever moving forward, the Catrell salt. Slap to the face from Brian Bodilair. And Ace Lee, switch flips. Stomping the Alabama mud right out of the Playboy from Calabasas, who returns with a strike of his own, knocking down the wild card, the champ. Now this is actually a smart move from the Playboy, Brian Bodilair. Working the legs of Ace Lee, keeping him grounded. We know Ace Lee likes to look for that 450 off the top rope. That 450 splash is his finisher. Much harder to do on one leg.
You know the difference between me and guys like Ace Lee?
Wait, let me guess. You can do a 450 off the top rope off of one leg?
I can do that, but I don't need to.
Near fall.
One NFG lariat, and they're done. Nobody gets up. I don't need to climb the top rope. I don't need to do flips.
I can confirm, very seldom, if ever, have we seen anyone kick out of an NFG. Meanwhile, in the corner, the Playboy goes back to the leg, that left leg of Ace Lee. The Playboy setting up the champ in the ropes with a head of speed. Oh! And slams Ace Lee right on the back of his neck. These two guys kick out at two. These two guys have had a storied rivalry that includes one of the most violent street fights in DCW history. Ladders, Legos, barbed wires, trash cans, you name it, it was involved. Suplex with a bridge and a kick out at two.
You just named a whole bunch of weapons I've never used and will never need to use to beat anybody that walks on this earth.
But what if you were to find yourself in a street fight with any member of the DCW roster? Surely you would much prefer someone else take a slam in the Legos, a trash can to the face.
The only weapons I need are my two fists.
Speaking of face, you can see the anguish on the face of Ace Lee. Brian Bodilair continuing to work on the left leg of Lee. Moving it back into the corner. Overhead strikes, dropping the champion into the corner with a head of steam and nobody home. Ace Lee trying to mount a comeback. So hard to do on one leg. Quick hop, and Brian Bodilair there to meet him in the corner. Ripping a rake to the back. Hanging the champion in the tree of woe is the Playboy. And Ace Lee falling to the mat. 1, 2, no, he's not done. Brian Bodilair does not know what to do to get the best of his adversary this time around. Crusher, you being the champ, you being better than anyone in Diamond Championship Wrestling, what would you do right now to put the nail in the coffin of Ace Lee? 1, 2.
I would pick him up and I would rip his head off with an NFG lariat. I would take my brand new junior heavyweight championship and I would go home. That's exactly what I would do. That's all I need to do. I would have done that as soon as the bell rang.
So clearly Brian Bodilair not going to take that advice. Coming in with a head of steam, meets the elbow of Ace Lee. Sends the Playboy to the outside, hobbling on one good leg. Oh, takes another overhead shot. Drops Ace Lee to a knee. Off the top rope is Brian Bodilair. Catches him with a missile drop kick. Sending the champ ankles over eyebrows. And a kick out at 2 again. The crowd beginning to get firmly behind Ace Lee here. Crusher, you're watching Ace Lee here. He will not be put down. He was the first competitor in the gauntlet match at Ante Up II, ran the gauntlet to win the junior heavyweight championship. Certainly there's got to be something complimentary you could say about his endurance. The package, 1, 2, and a kick out.
You know the only reason that Ace Lee ran the gauntlet, because he never had to go face to face with the anomaly Crusher Catrell.
Maybe so, only time will tell. Both men down. Referee Daniel Fairley considering the count. Ace Lee up, trying to get that leg to cooperate. A spinning elbow. And another forearm strike. Oh, and he's down the Playboy on the ground. 1, 2, and still no. These two could fight forever. Though, while they are, you would have to think, watching the way Ace Lee is hobbling on that bad leg, maybe the 450 out. Brian Bodilair jumping off the shoulders of the champ, taking him to the corner. No, it's a reversal. And a flip roll up into the suplex, a German suplex with a bridge. 1, 2, and no, a kick out by the Playboy. Yet another near fall in this marathon title match. Uh-oh, Ace trying to drag the Playboy out to the corner. He's looking, feeling some kind of way. He's taking his time, gingerly making his way to the top rope, and the Playboy catches him. Brian Bodilair looking to set the champ, Ace Lee, up for a superplex off the top rope. Ace with the reversal. A headbutt from the top sends Bodilair down. Ace Lee at the very top. The crowd at a fever pitch. It could be it. It could be it. It's the 450. 451, 2, 3. It's academic. It's over.
Here is your winner, and still DCW Junior Heavyweight Champion, the Wild Card, Ace Lee.
So clearly anyone that ends up in the L column tonight, not a prime contender to be a tag team partner with the most inevitably to be named greatest tag team champion of all time.
Whether they win or lose, there's nobody in Diamond Championship Wrestling that deserves to tag with Crusher Catrell. There's nobody that deserves to be my tag team partner.
Fair enough. We've got more Diamond Championship Wrestling action coming up right on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere.
Pack our things. So some dinosaur just shows up and he's now part of the group. Cool.
Rated PG in theaters now.
Elf presenta Melissa.
Doctor, what date is it?
Melissa, the big show is tonight. It's in Spanish. How is your Espanol?
Adiós, soy un baño. Soy un baño.
We have a lot of work to do. You need juicy lips
Chancla.
so you can utter those R's.
Sombrero.
Beso. Te amo. You're ready.
Adiós, frills.
With over 500 million items on the Walmart app, you might be surprised by what you can do. I call this little routine fire and ice. Guitars by Fender? Mom knew! Get these guys a contract!
Jeff knew. Now this girl dad's flying incredibly close to the sun.
This has great texture.
Go off, Dad.
Adorable. He knew.
New patio.
She knew.
Cool outfit.
And knowing is a beautiful thing. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
I can't believe Listerine has 6 benefits in every swish. I wonder if they're friends.
What?
Like, does 24-hour cavity protection hang out with repairs enamel, or you think it's more of a work thing?
Boy. For a healthier mouth, wash your mouth with Listerine.
Taxes was feeling unwelcome. Now Taxes is an open door to new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts. They do your taxes, so you can walk out with confidence. Intuit TurboTax. Don't wait. File by 4/15.
What? Pardon me for being excited. I'm sure this won't mean as much to you as it will to me. It was rumored that he would be here. The WWE Hall of Famer, Brian Armstrong, is in the building.
I'm sorry, who is this guy?
That is, in case you weren't listening, WWE Hall of Famer. You may remember him as the Road Dogg. He is here in the Bullet Bob Armstrong Memorial Arena. He is the brother of executive producer Scott Armstrong. Something tells me everybody in the crowd knew. Everybody in the crowd called somebody.
All I'm looking at is an old washed up has-been.
You say what you want, but the Road Dogg is off the chain. And he is running free in DCW tonight. The Road Dogg calling for a mic. We need to. Keith, we need to turn that mic on. Somebody, Keith. Hold on.
Did I do it? Listen, me and technology don't always see eye to eye, but I do want to see if I remember the words to a little something. If you guys would just help me with this, please, because I'm old and I get blown up easy, so let's see if we can remember this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, DCW proudly brings to you one half of the 7-time WWE Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James!
Just curious, how many times have you been a tag team champion?
Well, I've done something that this old washed up has-been never has. I'm the tag team champion.
I'm just going to lean on this. I'm just going to lean on this top turnbuckle for a second. Hey, can I tell you guys something? I sat back there earlier and I watched the national anthem play. I saw the American flag. I could see my father's picture right back there, the bullet. You know, I was so one of the proudest moments of my life was when I got to tag with my dad in TNA, and we fought AJ Styles, who just retired, and Tomko. My dad was about 60 and still whooped everybody's ass. Hey, so, oh man, it just feels so good to be here. It's a privilege to stand here in the Bullet. I'll be here a lot more in the future, but if you guys will indulge me for a second, I just want to call out my brother, Scott Armstrong. Scott, he's back there. He's back there with his, yeah, there you go.
And here comes DCW executive producer Scott Armstrong.
Yeah, give your headset to somebody.
This is the first time in history, ever,
Somebody call Shady Acres and get these two old dudes back to their homes.
never has there been a moment. We are witnessing history right now where both of the brothers Armstrong are in the ring, in the Bullet at the same time.
You guys know him? Well, if you don't know, now you know. This is my oldest brother, and he is old, a lot older than me. Just know that.
Leave it.
Sorry. This is my oldest brother, Scott. Look, he runs this place, and it takes a village for sure, but he does a lot here, and I don't know if he gets the credit he deserves, so I kind of wanted to call him out here and give him the credit that he deserves for Diamond Championship Wrestling. Also, Scott bought me my first car ever. When I was 15 years old, he bought me a Ford EXP, sunburst orange, tinted windows. I was the coolest sophomore in Gulf Breeze, Florida. All thanks to Scott Superkick Armstrong. I do want to say it's special to stand here with you in the Bullet, surrounded by fans of the Bullet, and it's a family affair. And DCW is definitely a family, and we appreciate you guys for being a part of it. So thanks for coming out tonight. We still got some more action for you. DCW Young and Up and Comers, they're here and here to show out. So Scott, you guys.
I do. I feel like you do, Brian. The fact that the two of us can be on the show and be in this building with our father's name on it is special to us.
Oh, dear God. You know what? I've had enough
of
this.
No,
I've had enough of this.
Crusher, no.
He would be so honored to know that we were all here tonight in this building named after him.
Oh, dear God, please shut your old mouths. Scott, it was you who told me I needed a tag team partner. I told you I can beat the hell out of any two men on this God-given earth. And as I climb up these steps, I see two men in this ring. So why don't I just prove it? And then afterwards, I'll call the nurses and send you two back to Shady Acres where you belong.
The disrespect.
You know something? This is going to be really, really hard for you to believe. But I was 19 years old once, just like you. And I thought I knew everything too. But it took some older guys to smarten me up and make me understand that at 19, I really didn't know anything.
You ain't never met a 19-year-old like me.
Crusher, don't do this. Oh my God! Andy V10 hits it out of nowhere! Spears Crusher Catrell out of his designer socks! Crusher Catrell clearly did not know. He should have called somebody. But who would he call? He spent the whole show the whole show, dismissing everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, a special thanks to WWE Hall of Famer Brian Armstrong, and thank you for watching. Y'all stick around. Make sure that you're following us right here on YouTube for more Diamond Championship Wrestling action. Till next time.